Alright, welcome back to the second part. Jeep Solo, and this is the rock slider install. And so the purpose of the rock sliders, I found that I was getting hung up quite a bit when I was out jeeping alone. So part of that is putting the lockers in the front and the rear, and having the rock sliders, and limiting the amount of time that I have to get out of the Jeep and scope things out, or jack up the front or the rear and move it side to side, or jack it up and stack rocks under it. So my goal is to get these Jeeps, this is the 97 ZJ, and then I've got a 99 WJ, get them set up so that I can Jeep as safely as possible alone. I often get impatient waiting around for others to go, and if I get a free day or a free half day from work, it's great to just get out on the trail. So the goal is to be able to Jeep safer and efficiently on our own. So here we go. We're gonna today install the rock slider. So I'll be cutting, I don't know if you call this the quarter panel, but this panel right under the door. There's a radius here, and I'm gonna cut it low enough to where the radius is coming down and almost straight, pointing straight down. Some people will cut it off up here at the top, and then the rock slider is almost flush right under the door. I think I like having a little bit of space. It allows water to drain off. It's just the way I'm doing this one. So I'll be cutting it all the way back in. There's a piece where the body panels are crimped together. That's actually a straight piece that comes all the way up. So we'll be cutting this all the way back to there, and then making a cut back here. I'll have to pull the tires off all the way down. When we get here to the center where the pillar is, there's a seatbelt support. There's a double or tripling up of metal. We'll have to cut through all of that. And there's a big flat nut that holds the seatbelt, so that will get cut. About an inch or so will get removed from the bottom. If you're going to mount it all the way up right under the doors, you'll end up having to cut the bolt and maybe even notch out your rock slider. So if you cut it a little bit lower, you avoid that. And then up there in the front, there's actually another piece of metal right behind this that comes down at kind of a 45-degree angle. So you have to cut through that. And then the front fender, no one really has addressed that. So what I did is I went ahead and chopped it off, and then I just tack welded it on the driver's side, and that's what I'll do again on this side. I didn't really see a point to making a tab and bolting it down. My fenders are already pretty smashed up, so I'm just going to tack them down, and then when it's time to get new ones, I'll just cut it off, and I may not even put front fenders back on it. So I didn't see that being a big deal. If you've got a real nice rig and you care about the looks, you may want to set it up so that you can weld a tab onto the front. So you cut the fender where it hangs down, and then set up a tab. So if you cut it here, you could set up a tab up in the front, and then drill and tap a hole in the front of your rock slider. That would be kind of cool. I think that's about it. So I picked up this 7.5-inch grinder from Harbor Freight. Looks like I have to change the disc. It's got the grinding disc on it instead of the cutting wheel. Works great. I was using a 3.5-inch on the driver's side, and that was not good. If you only got a 3.5-inch grinder, you need to go out and get one of these. It makes it go a lot better. And I think there's a 9-inch, so the 9-inch actually might be even nicer. I was wondering if there was going to be too much torque with the 9-inch when you're cutting this, but this is very comfortable. Works great, so I'm happy. Once we get all of this removed, we'll get the rock slider up here with jack stands and kind of scope it out, see which, make sure it's straight, move it forward and back, and then we'll tack it in. the welding actually takes a bit of time. To keep the heat down, we're going to tack it in different distances. We'll keep cutting in half the distance back and forth so that nothing gets too hot. And then we'll be doing it on the bottom. The bottom's a pain. It's not easy. So I did get some leathers so that I can lay down here and get a better angle. On the driver's side, I was just holding the gun down, sticking my head under there, making sure we were lined up, and then just pulling the trigger and hoping everything was going in the right place. So I'm hoping with the leathers on and my face mask, I can lay under here and better weld that. So yeah, I think we'll get started here.